Hello, welcome to IT Security Labs. Today we're going to install Adaptix C2 in our Ludus Game of Active Directory environment. Adaptix C2 is a command and control framework. I first learned about it from Eric Hanstad. He's the creator of Ludus. And Eric posted on LinkedIn that this is close to what we have in Cobalt Strike. Adaptix C2 supports both, which is very important for me because I like to use buffs. And also it gives us a user interface that looks like Cobalt Strike. So if you are interested in learning about Adaptix C2, this is a video where I'll show how we're going to install it using Ludus Ansible playbook. And then we'll also go through in the next video how to install an agent, connect our Game of Active Directory SQL server, and run everything from now using this command and control framework. So it's almost like we're going to be using something very close resemblance to Cobalt Strike, and I really like that they even have the interface looking close to the same. So if you're interested in that, stick around. We'll go ahead and install Adaptix C2 in our Game of Active Directory environment. First, the requirement is you need to have your Ludus installed. Here I have my Ludus server installed here. It's already running Game of Active Directory Ninja Hacker Academy. If you want to install that, you can follow this series. This is probably the 7th video or 8th video in this series. You can follow along and you have this. And I'm signed in using SSH. If you go to the Ludus roles here, you can see that how to use roles. We are actually installing a role. So it's a Ludus Ansible role add, then the name of the role that you're going to be adding. Then we can do a Ludus Ansible role add. So let's change this. Here are some notes that I put together before recording so I can have pastables. It's just easier that way. Then let's do a git Ludus Ansible role add. Let's see if this one will add. It might complain if it's not already added, but as you can see, successfully installed bed sector role. Okay, so now that we have the role, we just need to run the playbook. So here's the documentation. Okay, example range config. This config is going to deploy the server and the Kali, which is what I want. That let's copy and create the file. So I already have my instructions here. Nano Adaptix C2.yaml, and then I'm going to put this paste here. So first we're going to deploy a server, and then we have another Kali. The only thing that I'm going to change here is I already have another Kali deployed that is running my sliver. Let's name this one Kali 2 instead of Kali 1. This will be Kali 2, so we don't have a conflict. RAM is going to be 4. Sure, I'm going to leave everything the same except for the name for Kali, and this Kali is going to have this role here so that we can run our client on it. That's pretty much it. And then yeah, this will be using Debian 12. And then before I do that, I'll just change here because I'll be pushing this to GitHub for those who want. I just changed this to be a 2, and that's pretty much it. Now we need to tell Ludus that we want to use that file. If I don't change the range ID, what that means is it will use the same range information as I already have here. So that should show up in this environment here for now, because I don't want to create a new one. In fact, I want to use this C2 to attack this infrastructure, so this should work. All right, so now we're telling Ludus like, hey, by the way, the config that you're going to be using is that adaptive one. Let's go also and do a range deploy. One thing that I didn't say is the templates that are being used. If you don't already have your templates built, you need to build all the templates. I skipped that because I'm assuming you already have your templates deployed. But as you can see, I started the install. If I go back to my environment here, I should see a couple machines pop up. All right, I'll pause, and then once the VMs are here, we'll proceed. Okay, so after a couple of minutes or so, you will notice that the Adaptix server is here. If you deploy with the same Ludus user as your existing range, it will not deploy the router. However, if this is a new Ludus range, you also notice that you deploy the router. And right now it's deploying the server. I'm also expecting it, when it's almost done, to deploy a Kali Linux machine. So the server is being built on the Debian template. So it's still going here. We'll fast forward here, and when it's done, I'll show you how it's working. All right, and after a couple minutes, here's our Kali 2. So we are deploying this range in the same subnet as our existing machine. So Kali 2 is here, Adaptive server is here. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the playbooks to go ahead and install the entire C2 server framework, and also to finish installing our Kali with our client. And after that, we get back in. Right, so here, it looks like it's done, but if one failed, I'm going to rerun the range again and follow the logs. And hopefully this time it will actually fix it. It doesn't hurt to rerun Ansible playbooks. Sometimes they'll fail and it will fix things. And we also have the server. But I'm rerunning the playbook, so that shouldn't take too long since this is the second time. And my Kali is at 992. So I can go and say I'm accessing Kali. Let's grab the IP for Kali, 10.3.992 on port 8444. Sure enough, we can access Kali. Proceed, Kali, password, and here we might have to give it another password of Kali. Yes, allow that. And now password of Kali. Your IP might be different, so make sure to check your Proxmox. Right away, I like to change the preferences here so that I can see. This is just too small for me. Apply, okay. All right, but I'm not going to start the client. Since I'm rerunning the playbook, I want it to finish the second time again. Who failed this time? The builder Gopher for Linux agent in macOS failed with these errors. Okay, so let's fix this one. If building a Gopher agent failed, first try it again. If it fails, SSH into the server and run the following. Assume that you are root. Just run this on the server and then rerun. Sure. This is hanging here. Let's just let it hang for a while. All right, so it seems like it finished. Go back and rerun our playbook one more time. Control-C, range deploy, the logs follow. All right, so it failed again, and it's saying the same thing. It's the go build cache, whatever. I think I did it. Let me do it again. Let me run just these commands here one more time. And this is gonna be here. So CD should not matter. Just in case. Maybe I need to reboot this machine. Let's deploy. Follow. If it doesn't, I'll restart the machine. I'm doing this because that's what they suggested on this. All right, so the installation finished. As you can see here, our playbook completed. I did have to make a change, which I documented in the repo. First, I made sure that we ran the commands here, like you saw earlier. I was running the builds of the client directly on the server themselves. I put the commands that you also see on the repo. Then I also had to track down my Ansible playbook. In this case, the user that I'm installing in the playbook, I just added one line, this one here, that says ignore errors. Because even if you build these directly on the server, according to Ansible, it doesn't still see it. So you keep getting the same error. So go to your Ludus server. In this case, I went to this location. I'll just show you quick. SSH to your Ludus server. So Control-C, CD. And in this case, for me, the user that I'm installing the lab as is going to be this one here. So if you're installing this as a different user, just make sure that you have your correct username. So replace that line with the name of the user. And okay, cd ls search users, search home. Let me make sure that I get the correct name. That, so I have a capital instead of lowercase, and paste that. Now in these tasks here, in the build server.yaml, and all the way near the bottom right here, I just added ignore errors to yes, otherwise your playbook will not continue. And that's pretty much it. And then when the installation is done, as you saw here, we can now go to our Kali. Let's launch the client. This is my first time, so you and I will figure it out together. Okay, so here is the client. I like the dark theme already. Then it's saying user password. This looks like Cobalt Strike if you have used Cobalt Strike. So it is asking for user, password, host, port, endpoint. Then we can just connect. So let's find that information. Okay, so a couple of things here. For usage, it says by default the server listens on port 4321 and endpoint with password pass. You can change these with raw variables see below. On the client machine, run the Adaptix client to start the GUI, and then log in the server using the settings above unless changed via variables. We do not change anything, so we're going to just use the password pass. So the server is at 10.3.99.1, 10.3.99.1. The port they told us is 4321. Okay, endpoint is /endpoint. Okay, and then the user for the project, I guess I can just, I'm not sure if I need to put that there. For user, I'm going to put my name, Howard. The password is pass. Let's see, connect. All right, that was it. So we just gave it a name. The name you can make up your own. The password is pass, and we're in. So now this just looks like a Cobalt Strike. It's the dark theme is kind of blending in too much here. I would like it to pop, but for now we are successfully connected. Next, we are going to see if we can generate an implant and connect to one of our game of Active Directory server. But for now, it says client Howard. We can list. We can have a map. It looks like that. We can have a folder. We can have tunnels. This looks pretty nice. All right, so we successfully deployed a server, as you can see, and here, according to our logs, we are connected. So in the next video, I'm going to generate an implant and implant a machine. So this was a quick video on how to deploy the Adaptix, I can't even say the name, Adaptix C2 server, which is pretty much like a poor man's version of Cobalt Strike, and I'm excited to be using it. Thanks for watching, and immediately go and watch the next video where we're actually going to implant and start using this and load our beacon object files and all the good stuff. Thanks, and I hope to see you in the next video.